Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Irish Uncensored. I'm here with my buddy, as always, Grant. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. It's Thursday, Cincinnati week. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're filming this a little later than we wanted to, but life happens. Things need to. Oh, look, my name is the same. I'm going to keep the name.
Shadows.
That is from my other YouTube channel, but that's all right.
Go follow Whack Comics and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah. That's it's a completely different channel. I wouldn't think if you're not into comics you wouldn't like it. But let's just dive right into some stats about the game. What do we expect out of Cincinnati, Grant? What do you think?
So, looking through like their roster, they're very veteran. They're very much kind of like a Wisconsin in a lot of ways. So, like looking at their offense just looking at this roster, offensively, senior quarterback, junior tailback, senior receiver, sophomore receiver, graduate receiver, Michael Young. Remember Michael Young?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so feels like it's been forever since he played for us, but he's still there. And then offensive line wise, they're big. I mean, they're a lot like Wisconsin. Smallest offensive lineman's 300 pounds, but they're also like Wisconsin in the sense of they're not super athletic. So they do have two pretty good tight ends defensively. They have a guy, their corner, Ahmad Gardner. I don't know if you heard him. They call him Sauce. He's pretty good. He's probably going to be a first round pick. I'd be
Ooh.
surprised if it wasn't a first or second round pick. So they've got some talent in the secondary. They've got a guy or two on the D line. Their linebackers are kind of just meh.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I mean basically just running it down. They're a top 10 team. They're pretty legit. Like they're a good team, right?
yeah,
Yeah, to
they're
me this is
experienced. But
clearly the best team we've played. Like I know last week we were shitting all over Wisconsin and basically just saying they were overrated. I don't know about saying they were bad. This team's legit. I think they're a legitimate top 10 team. They've played Miami of Ohio. They killed them 49-14, Murray State 42-7, and then Indiana 38-24. So they've won pretty handily. Although some of those games were not so handled at like half,
yeah, I know
right, Grant?
IU jumped out on them 14-0. I think Murray State was tied with them at half, and they just kind of turned it on. So maybe they're a bit of a slow starter like Notre Dame has been on offense. Um, I mean, it's fully possible, but I mean, with who like their quarterback's a potential first round pick, like with that, you would assume that they would have their shit a little more together, um, coming out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
feel like they should be one of those teams that jumps out to people.
Sounds like us, like in many ways, which is kind of funny because I think the one thing you don't want to do against us, and it's already proven, is like keep us in the game, keep us
Yeah,
close. Because if you're keeping us close, our defense is fucking good. Like we're proving it. We're back to back weeks now. This will be different because we aren't playing a Big Ten team, not to shit on the Big Ten anymore, but like this is a completely different animal offensively,
yeah,
and I don't know what to expect. Like I have a prediction that I'll give later, but I really don't know what to expect this game. I think it's really going to be a true test to see how good we are, and this is going to springboard us for the whole season. Like
yeah,
this game.
yes. This is the big one, biggest one on our schedule, like you said, at least to date. And I, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's kind of like they want to pass. They want to pass, but they also want the run to complement them. If we can take the run away or like be as successful as we were against Wisconsin against the run, I think that I mean they're going to have trouble against us. They're going to have a lot of trouble, and we're capable of that. Quite frankly, no Kurt Hinish this week, so that sucks. We just saw Howard Cross and Jacob Lacey do work against Wisconsin O line that was just as big and just as experienced, if not more experienced, than the Cincinnati O line. So hopefully we can keep up that good pressure and make Ritter uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably my pick. Who's gonna have a good game this week is the D line. Like even
Yeah,
with them having a good O line, like look what we've done this year, and then especially last week against Wisconsin. Our D line is something special, and when we bring the 5-man, like we get to the quarterback. 4-man, we usually get to the quarterback. So that I think we're going to have to create pressure against, like you said, this potential first rounder. So if we don't, if they're moving the ball pretty handily, we are in trouble. We have to have a good day on the D line. That's going to be the key to the game.
And there are obviously a ton of ties in this game, like to Notre Dame and Cincinnati. So like Marcus Freeman, Brian Kelly. I think Mike Mickens was there at one point. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, used to be at Notre Dame for Cincinnati. Like there are just ties all over the place. On top of Michael Young starting at wide receiver for him, you know he's going to come out and try to ball out. But I think Marcus Freeman keeps his defensive train rolling, and he's going to come with some things that is gonna make Ritter uncomfortable. And who knows Cincinnati's weakness is better than the guy calling their defense for the last at least 2 years, I believe. So I like our chances, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be a lot closer of a game. I'm hoping we can have a better day offensively. Like, I know we won last week by a lot, but it was not a comfortable game. So we need to step up earlier offensively. Yeah. But even if we're not scoring a ton, we don't need, I'm not saying 35 points at half or anything. Just let's get the ball rolling. Let's get some good offensive flow and get down the field and not put our defense out on the field so much, because that has been a big problem. If we do that against a team like this, that's going to be a problem whether our defense came to play or not.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that could hit some big plays, and I'm just hoping that we've got that out of our system and worked out now within our system. I mean, I'm just hoping that we've got that working now, and that if we give a big play, that it's 1 and not 3. You know what I mean? I think right now we're tied for first in the nation in interceptions through 4 games, and we also are first, I think, in the FBS for sacks given up on your quarterback. So yay.
Oh man, that is rough. Yeah.
And transitioning to our offense, I mean, that's what it is. They're going to play a 3-man front a lot, just like Freeman did at Cincinnati traditionally. If we can run the ball against them, they're going to have to go to their 4-man front, and that may be where they're vulnerable. We have to have some sort of running game this game. That's really what I feel like. If we run for 100 yards, I think we win the game, and I think we win it handily.
If we run for 100, man, I think that's asking a lot. I hope you're right. I hope we can do it, but that with the way the season's gone, running for 100 yards sounds like a task.
I think it is, but I think that, every game we get closer and closer to our O-line, like taking another step, and they might be the tiniest of baby steps, but one of these days we're going to put it all together. And when we do, I mean, whoever we're playing that day, watch the hell out, because we might hang 50 on you.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We're scary. We are a scary team at our peak, but we have not found our peak. Last week, no.
That was not our peak.
That was not our peak, and we scored a bunch. But, I mean, we had 3 late touchdowns, defensive and special teams. So, I don't know if I consider those fluky, because they were all, like, nice touchdowns, and we did well on them, like running them back and stuff. But that you can't count on those.
Right. Something I wanted to touch on, too, was I've noticed a lot of the Cincinnati players talking shit. I know the quarterback came out, Ritter, and said something along the lines of Denbrock told him the stadium's going to be loud and da-da-da-da. And he said, well, they won't be loud for long.
Yep.
There's been more chatter than just even that. And it's very confusing to me, because I don't think you would really want to – like, you should want us to underestimate you. You should like when they interview our guys, they're like, yeah, Cincinnati's a great football team. They're really good. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we're ready for it. Cincinnati's like, yeah, they're going to be real quiet.
Well, I love that. Like, I live for that like shit talking. That's how I would be if I played, because it doesn't hurt anything. But I mean, at the same time, like if it motivates some of us, that's not a bad thing either. So
absolutely, yeah. So
we can get into the bets if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that. So last week on our bets, my disclaimer: gamble responsibly and at your own risk.
Yeah.
But last week we were 3 for 3. This week I'm getting a little more. I don't know. I don't know if it's really that much more ballsy than what it already was, but I'm feeling us this week again. I'm thinking we're going to win. So the three bets that we're rolling out this week are the Notre Dame money line on DraftKings. At least as of about an hour ago, it was a plus 105. I like that. I think we're going to win.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame alternative spread line, I think we win by at least a field goal. I think that's being modest. So I'm taking my us minus 2.5 at a plus 125. And then the last one, I think we're gonna jump on them. I don't. It's just a feeling. I think all the shit talking. I
Hold
think
that feeling because we need it.
we're at home. We're on a massive home win streak. We haven't lost at home. It's going to be a green out. I mean, we have all these things going for us. I just feel like we're going to jump on them early. So I'm going to take the Notre Dame money line in the first half, saying that we're going to be up, and that's at plus 100 at half. So everything in the plus side this time. Like I said, last week we were 3 for 3. It's a little
Yeah.
more risky this
Yeah.
week.
But
So
the bets kind of reflect that too, is that they're all like what 105, 125, and 100. So they're like close bets.
yes, we're
So
on the cusp.
if you bet the same amount of money, whatever, you don't even have, this is just for fun. You don't even have to take these bets. It's really just, we're going to look back and see how we did, you know, but I think they're all pretty good bets. And like we said, I mean, if you lose one of them, you could win two of them and still win the day. So let's see if we can win the day.
Right. 3 for 3 last week. So
Yeah, we have a good going on the season.
one
Grant
thing I know,
lagged a little
Tyler, that
bit. Okay, go ahead.
yeah,
There you go.
one thing I know we wanted to talk about is that we see a lot of like talk about negative fans on social media,
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. What are your thoughts on?
I personally think people that are negative or trying to be like, oh, this quarterback's no good or the coaching needs to be better. I think that is good. Honestly, I think people having their own opinion is a good thing. I think that uh, us we need to hold Notre Dame to a high standard. Like we are Notre Dame football. We are one of the most winningest colleges in the nation. We are like, how can we not expect to be great? Especially when we have all like great recruits, we have great coaches. Like we should be good. We should expect to be good. Like it really annoys me when people are like, well, why don't you go be coach, or why don't you do this, or could you do better? Like it's just the kid back there. It's like it's a kid, but he's the quarterback at Notre Dame. Just like a blanket statement, or he's the cornerback at Notre Dame. He's the linebacker at Notre Dame. Like these kids can play. These and with the right coaches, with the right like development, like we should be up there with Bama. Like obviously, we should never be Bama. In reality, we should probably never win a title. But that's kind of like Notre Dame. Oh, they're always so good, but we're also kind of a bit of an underdog. Like we always should be a bit of an underdog when it comes to like the top teams in the nation, but there's no excuse why we couldn't win it one day. So I expect the absolute highest out of our players because that's why you came to Notre Dame. If you're not there to potentially be an All-American, guess what? You're not winning a Big Ten title because there is we're not in anything like that. Like we're coming here. You're coming here to win a title. And if you're not coming here to win a title, then you shouldn't be at Notre Dame. And that is my opinion on Notre Dame football.
Yep.
What do you think?
I mean, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. Natty or bust. I mean, we're trying to make the playoff, win a playoff game, and win a national championship. And that's what we want to do every single year. We want to get to the point where we're reloading. If Brian Kelly can beat Cincinnati, this is a classic year where Notre Dame would have taken a step back and we would have been 8-4, something along those lines. If we can win this game, our toughest part of our schedule is behind us. And we could be rolling through this. Even if we lost a game down the stretch, it's just the principle is that we're now reloading. We're not that team that, well, we lost 4 linemen and we're still going to potentially run the table. Like, we're going to be those guys now. Our
Mhm.
whole identity is different after this year. And one thing you said talked about like the recruits, like kind of transitioning. The recruits that we are going to have in the stadium for this game for the classes of
I
22,
saw that.
dude, I mean, this is big time. This is absolutely big time. And if we can sway, I mean, if you're in the stadium, be loud, get hype, wear green, show those recruits what it's like to be at ND. I mean, this is a chance. You get a one time at an impression for some of these recruits. They don't keep coming back to campus. Some of these guys are from the West Coast or Hawaii, or they don't have the means to get there all the time. Show them what it's like to be
Yep.
there. Show them what it's like. I mean, as a fan, if we were going to the game, Tyler, we would be decked out in green head to toe. We
Yep.
wouldn't sit down and we'd be screaming our asses off every third
Yeah.
down.
As long as we are allowed to stand up, because Notre Dame fans are notorious for standing up like once every 15 minutes. But
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing. It's disappointing. I hate it, but
Mhm.
yeah. But hopefully this will be a good week. We can get into our predictions. You want to give yours first, or you want me to go first?
I can go first. I don't care.
All right.
I'm gonna say that ND is gonna win 34-21. Um,
Ooh, big win.
I just our defense is so lights out right now. I don't really know how to go against them when we're at home. I mean, I know Cincinnati's good, but I definitely see us, taking it to them, and I think we're going to jump on them early, and I think we're going to kind of be in control. So I hope I'm right. I pray I'm right. But
I hope you're
34-20.
right too. My prediction is it's the least amount of confidence I've had in a game this year, but I still feel like I'm confident we're going to win the game. It's a really strange feeling. But my prediction is 24-20. I think it's going to be close, but kind of like what you said, I still think we're going to be in control because of our defense. If our offense can get going just a little bit, like that's the thing. We don't even have to get going and score touchdowns or score field goals. If we get going and just move the ball to the other side of the field consistently, how good has our punter been? We haven't been mentioning that. Our punter, I mean, we're talking NFL, better than NFL.
Yeah.
He's been pinning them not in the 10, in the 5. It has been insane, man.
And I think he's only a sophomore or junior. Like, he's got some years left with us, and he has been lighting it up. I mean, great hang time. And here's the thing, he was a high school quarterback, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So the trickeration is always on when he's back there. You never know when he might drop a dime on you or run. I mean, I feel like he's run a fake punt before, and his athleticism was like really good. Like, he looked natural. He didn't look like a punter running the ball.
Yeah, if you're a high school quarterback, typically you're going to be athletic unless you're just a pocket. But that is rare to just have like a pocket quarterback in high school.
Yeah. So I think we're going to win. I like our odds. Let's go with let's pick our offensive and defensive, like who we think's going to show out. Who's going to show out? I know you picked the D line, but let's get more specific, like one player on each side of the ball. Go ahead.
The defensively, I don't know if I can it's really hard. I know last week I picked Kyle Hamilton, but this week I don't think I could pick anyone specific on defensive line. Maybe Tunga Vailoa.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I feel
that maybe he'll have a good game, but it could really be anyone on the D line as long as they are working as a unit, like together and having a good blitz. Maybe not even blitzing, just a 4-man. We're gonna have a good day there, and it's maybe him. I'll pick him.
Okay. Defensively, I'm gonna go with I think Jordan Botelho, who we raved about last week. In his second game, I could see him just making a big play, just coming off the edge and assassinating Ritter. Like I just feel I just feel it in my bones that he's just gonna make a play or two that's gonna help change the game and push it in our favor on defense. Offensively, I'm gonna. Gosh, I think I think Mayer's got to have a monster game. I think he does. He
That's who
has.
I was gonna say, especially with the outside, how good, like you said, their defensive back is.
Mhm.
Mayer has been quiet the last couple weeks. I think the Big Ten defense, if the only thing they could do was target Mayer, and I think this week they're gonna have a more difficult time targeting Mayer. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the same thing. We're gonna have to use Mayer a lot. We're gonna have to get the ball out quick. So he's gonna be a big, big key in this game. If we're getting the ball to Mayer and if we're coming up strong on the D line, we're gonna have a good day. Those are my keys to the game for sure.
Completely agree with you, man. I'm hoping we can get it done.
Yep. So that's our breakdown, and we're a little late this week, but things happen, and
Yep.
hopefully you enjoy this. Share this around. Go check us out on Irish Uncensored Facebook page if you have one. But if not, just make sure you subscribe and like the video if you like it. So have a
Yep.
good one, everyone, and go Irish.
Go Irish.